I asked an AI to create an example of a prompt that I could dictate instead of type. It came back with 48 words. It even told me the longer version might take me 20 or 30 seconds to speak. Even the AI made the same mistake people make. It treated dictation as speaking when I otherwise could have typed. 20 seconds is still just faster typing. The correction that finally gave the AI what it needed was 683 words long. That's closer to 5 minutes. Dictation is valuable because it lets you go longer. It lets the AI get better access to your ideas, your intent, and the judgment in your brain. When I provide consulting or training on using an AI, people keep asking me for magic prompts. They ask me for proper structure. They read that you should begin with, "You are an expert." Give the AI an identity and then follow some precise sequence of instructions. Now, these instructions can help, but they're not what matters the most. What matters is giving the AI better access to your brain and to your intent. And talk to it more doesn't mean add one more sentence, right? The useful inputs are often measured in minutes. So 5 minutes at normal conversational speed is about 600, 700 words. I tend to speak towards the high end of that, and Wispr Flow measures me at 151 words per minute, which is high end of conversational. That's why the correction from the beginning was 683 words. It wasn't a 700-word essay. It was 5 minutes of me explaining what I wanted, right? Why I wanted it. What history mattered, what good would actually look like. That's how I work in practice. I have dictated more than 700,000 words into Wispr Flow. My target is 70,000 words per week. Now, that's not an assignment, right? I'm showing you the scale because the behavior is real. I'm not trying to make every prompt artificially long. I'm trying to give the AI enough of my thinking to make better decisions. I sometimes call this word maxing or input maxing. We're increasing the amount of intent, judgment, and thought process that's available to the machine. When we write for people, composition is an act of respect. Good writing packages the ideas in your brain so that another person can consume them efficiently. Human attention is scarce. You take out the repetition. You resolve the contradictions. You make the path to the point shorter. But that's the wrong first job when you're talking to AI. See, the AI can follow you while you express an idea. You can back up, repeat yourself, change your mind, replace the first idea with something better. These aren't just defects for the machine to tolerate, the way that person would. They expose what matters to you. They show which ideas you return to, which distinctions you correct, and where your judgment changes. If I gave that kind of ramble to another person, it might be disrespectful. But the AI doesn't need me to package a thought for a human reader before it has access to the thought. So let the AI compose the finished result. Your first job is to expose the thinking. Make it a ramble, not an essay, and then own the ramble. If you're finding this helpful, please like this video and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel and make more content about how we can get a lot more value out of AI. So here's the practical thing I do that makes longer dictation easier. Don't stare at the box you're speaking into. Ask AI to make something you can react to. It might be a proposal, a plan, a prototype, an image, rough piece of research. Then start recording before you start reading, and then put your eyes on the work. If the AI wrote something, read it and comment on it. If it made a web page, look at the page and say what's working. If it made a plan, follow the plan and say where it loses you. Say, this is right, this is wrong, this is what you misunderstood, this is the consideration that matters, this is why I'm reacting this way. So I will start recording before I start reading. My first reaction is useful data to it. I might say, you should have done this. Scroll down, discover the AI had already done it, and then correct myself. That correction is still valuable. The AI learns that the feature mattered and that it handled it properly. The artifact does not need to be the final thing that's going to be built, right? Its first job is to give you something concrete to think against. It's grist for your intellectual mill. So when your eyes are on the work, instead of the input box, you stop trying to compose a prompt. You start exposing the ideas that the work brings out of you. And that's the job. So this changes your interaction from a handoff into a huddle, right? Handoff says, I'm going to perfect the plan. I'm going to give it to the AI and wait for the finished work. But a huddle builds shared understanding before the AI, runs out and makes the play. I react to what it made. I ask what it thinks. It speaks back to me. I react again. And then I ask it to tell me what it now believes good looks like. What's the North Star? What matters most? What trade-offs have I been making? And what did you learn from the way that I reacted? And when the AI can repeat the understanding back, and I can say, yes, you get it, the huddle's over. That's the stop condition. Now, it can go off and work. It can make the play. Go make the fuller draft. Go make the proposal. Go make the script. Build the first version of the software. So the result becomes the next thing we react to, but the work's changed. I'm no longer inventing every paragraph. And I also don't have to review every line of code. I'm making decisions at the level that's appropriate for me. So the obvious objection to all this, that more words mean more tokens. And, in a limited way, they do. But input is only one small part of an agentic task. The larger risk is that AI fills in missing intent, charges off in the wrong direction, and then spends a much larger number of tokens doing the wrong work. See, a short prompt looks efficient when you only count the first turn. The real task includes everything the AI does in the wrong direction, everything you say to bring it back, everything it has to do again. We got to measure the whole task and not just the first prompt. This matters a lot more as AI becomes more agentic. You're not merely asking for an answer. You're asking the machine to research, read, create, check, revise, and act. The further the machine can travel without you, the more expensive it becomes to point it in the wrong direction. So, an underfed chatbot gives you a bad answer, but an underfed agent does the wrong work at scale. You're not trying to minimize the number of tokens going in. You're trying to shorten the path to real business value. So this method is not dependent on Wispr Flow, though that's what I use. You can use built-in dictation, voice inside an AI product, like ChatGPT Voice, an open source tool, or some other service, But I really like Wispr Flow because it captures me at length with high fidelity, and it's really fast, and speed matters. I can finish speaking, see the text appear in the box within a second or two, kick off the AI, and move my attention to the next thing. The key for me is I'm not sitting there waiting for a transcript while the thought drains out of my head. I can do the next thing. I also like the cross-machine history and the usage data that it shows me, right? It allows me to see the scale at which I'm currently working, like the 70,000 target that I talked about before. But the North Star is not the vendor, right? You should choose the tool that lets you express yourself fully, captures what you say accurately, and gets those ideas into the machine with as little delay as possible. I'm willing to pay for speed because my attention is so much more expensive than the software or even the AI. Pick one proposal, plan, prototype, whatever. Describe it briefly with your voice. Ask the AI to research or make something rough for you to react to. Start recording before you read or look at what it gave you. Keep your eyes on the work, not the input box. Talk through what strikes you, what's good, what's wrong, what's missing, what principle is driving your reaction. Then ask the AI to tell you about what it now understands about good, right? And then correct it at length, talking at length, until you can say, yes, you get it, right? That's the huddle. And then you let it make the play. Dictation isn't just faster typing. It's how you give AI more access to your brain. It's a different way of working. If you give it more, it can give you more. So own the ramble.